Hi there, you're watching Time Warner Cable's Local Edition. This is the Sacramento Report. I'm Jaime Garza, joined today by Assemblymember Curt Hagman. Good to have you here, Curt.
Good to be back, Jaime.
You guys finally passed a budget. You would think the problems would be solved, but really nothing has been solved at this point.
No, the state budget is still in peril right now. It was passed a couple different things. One, it says we assume we're going to get more revenue by some mechanism. And then also, we believe, very optimistic projections on the income for the state. So far, a little over a month past our budget passage, we're over $500 million less than we expected to come in. And there's some reasons for that. You know, a lot of income was up higher than we expected at the beginning of the year because people made money on the stock trades. You know, the Dow Jones went way below 10,000 and went back up 10,000. It only happens in these time of real kind of crisis. Now we know it's going way back down quite a bit again. So our income level is going to be a problem. The governor hasn't identified where he gets the other $5 billion. So there's actually trigger cuts in place. Whether that goes through or we come back for a special session and try to tackle the issue, but it's still far from over.
And that was one of the questions I was going to ask you, these trigger cuts. Even though there are proposals within this budget that was passed, there are mechanisms in there that say if we don't reach this plateau or this element, we will not move forward. We will go to Plan B. Is that right?
Correct. And it's the first time we used that. And I did not personally vote for the budget, so I don't like having those gimmicks in there. But it was like if we don't reach this level, we'll go this way. If it doesn't reach this level, we'll go down. So we have that B, C, and D built in. The very draconian cuts to many programs: education, health and human services, public safety, all across the board.
Well, what do you find problem with that? It seems when you look at it from the outside, all right, this is trying to be more responsible in terms of how we spend the state's money.
The only problem with that, when you put it off till now, August, September, when you do those cuts, is remember we start our budget year from June to July. So we're already 6 months into it. So if you know, and we have a pretty good idea way before we pass the budget that the income's not going to be at those levels, you should make it at the beginning of the cycle. It's easier to do little bit of cut here for over a 12-month period than take out the last 6 months. So you have other agencies, school districts, and all the rest there that are taking our projections and using them as their core budgets.
Right.
And now they're implementing their budgets, and 6 months later say, oops, sorry, we really don't have this, we're going to take this away from you. So it's a poor way of doing it in my mind. I think it should be conservative first and say we project here, if we get more money, which we like to do, we'll give you more money later on.
So are you basically saying that the way this system has been set up, it's for, let's take education for example, we project X amount of money. Now if that goes below that, you make cuts, but you're telling all the school districts, plan on this one figure.
Correct.
So now we're in there, we've purchased supplies, we've done things like that. Now all of a sudden the money's not there. How do we pay for it?
They've done the staff and everything else. They've done their annual budgets as well. And also to make things even worse is a special interest group came in and make sure that the school districts didn't have the freedom to lay off staff during the year. So we're going to tell you very optimistically these numbers you have. And by the way, you can't let any personnel go. And such a razor-thin budget at the local level as it is, 92% in my district goes to staffing as to begin with. There's no room to cut except for staff if you have to make cuts. So we're not going to allow you to cut staff. At the same time, we're going to give you overinflated budgets and expect you to balance your budgets at the end of the year. There's going to be a lot of problems, not just in the state level, but I believe local entities as well who rely on the state funds for their budgets for the rest of the year.
25 seconds left. What's the crystal ball, do you think? Do you think you will be back for special session? There are going to be some major rough waters ahead? I
think there's definitely major rough waters ahead. We need to get this economy turned around, and we suggest by reforms in the systems that we do things, not by taxation. But yeah, we'll be back, I think.
So again, we have a budget, but that didn't solve our problems.
Nope.
All right, Assemblyman Curt Hagman, thanks again as always. And thank you at home for watching Time Warner Cable's Local Edition. This has been the Sacramento Report. And don't forget, you can always watch this interview as well as others by simply going to My Government On Demand, and you'll find that on Channel 1.